Hello and welcome. My name is Candice and I'm a personal trainer, and today we're going to do a 25-minute yin style yoga routine focusing on warming the body and opening the hips. On the 21st of December, this Friday, is the Winter Solstice. So I wanted to do this routine to help you get through the cold winter months. It's a nice slow warming routine. I'll just take a few deep breaths here while we think about where this particular practice is going to take us. So for this practice today, you will need one, maybe two blocks, plus some form of strap, yoga strap or belt. And then we're going to place one block underneath the bottom, and we're going to just sit here for a moment in hero pose. Take a deep breath in, reach the arms up to the ceiling, take them to prayer hands, and as you breathe out, drop them down to the chest. We're going to come up onto the knees and we're going to take gate latch pose. So we're taking the right leg out to the side, foot flat to the floor. As we breathe in, we're going to raise the left hand over the top of the body, over the top of the head. The right hand slides down the right leg and we're looking up towards the ceiling and stretching that side body. We're going to take that left hand down to the floor and the right hand over for a supported side plank, and come back up onto the knees, and we're back into hero pose for a deep breath. Breathe in, hands up to the ceiling. Breathe out, bring the hands down to prayer in front of heart center. And we'll take gate latch pose on the opposite side. So this time we've got the left leg out, right arm goes over the top, left arm goes down the left leg, and stretching that side body. Again, we're going to take the right hand to the floor, left hand over the head for supported side plank, stretching the other side of the body, really stretching from fingers to toes here. Back to center. Back down for hero pose. Big breath in, hands up to bring them to prayer in front of heart center. We'll take a deep breath here. We're then going to take a deep breath in, and we're going to stretch the arms backwards, dropping the head back. And then as we breathe out, we're coming down into child's pose. Breathe in, hands up over the head, really stretching back, opening that chest to the ceiling. And then we're coming back down into child's pose. Bring it back up, stretching over the top, really opening the chest, and we're dropping back down for hero pose. At this point, remove the block from underneath, and we're going to come into cat-cow. Come up onto the toes, so breathe in, head up, drop the stomach, breathe out, tuck the chin into the chest. Breathe in, look up and come up onto the toes and really extend through the chest. Breathe out, tuck the chin into the chest. Last time, breathe in and up. Breathe out and down, really pushing that spine towards the ceiling. And come back to a neutral back. Just walk the hands out in front of you, keeping the hips over the knees and dropping the face to the floor for puppy pose. And take a deep breath here. And then we're going to slide through, taking the feet wide onto the elbows for Sphinx. Bring the hands to the sides, tuck the toes underneath, push the hips up and back for Down Dog. While we're in Down Dog, we're just going to pedal the feet slowly to stretch the back of the legs. Then going to take the right foot to the ceiling, and then we're going to step it wide to the outside of the right hand into a runner's lunge. At this point, feel free to use a block under the left hand if need be, so that you're a bit straighter. But if you have the flexibility, we really want to get a good hip stretch here. So we're going to place the left hand wide, right hand to the knee, pushing out. And then when you're ready, take that right hand to the ceiling and looking towards that hand. You're just really trying to rotate that right knee out. Bring the hand back to the knee. We're then going to drop the left knee to the floor and flatten the foot. Bringing both elbows to the floor. If need be, you could go to a block. And we're just going to really drop through to try and stretch that hip as far as we can. Obviously don't push it till it hurts. Just go to where is comfortable for you. And then we're coming back on to the hands, tuck the toes under at the back. We're stepping that right foot back for plank, chaturanga, up dog, and then hips up and back for Down Dog. Take 3 deep breaths here, really letting that neck and shoulders to relax in this pose. Use this as a bit of recovery time in between. Taking the left foot up to the ceiling and then stepping that one wide of the left hand, taking the left hand to the knee, right hand wide on the mat, and again we're twisting through, trying to open those hips. Taking the left hand towards the ceiling now, looking towards the hand. So we're opening the hips and adding a twist. Bring the hand back to the knee, so you're looking over the top of the leg. And then drop that right knee to the floor. Again, if you need the block to put the elbows on, feel free. If not, we're just going to take both elbows to the mat and drop down to stretch the hips as much as possible. Again, being careful not to hurt yourself. Just go to where it's comfortable for you. Come back up onto the hands, tuck the toes under at the back, step back for plank, drop down, chaturanga, push up for up dog, hips up and back for downward facing dog. Again, we're going to take 3 deep breaths here. I want you to make sure that the hips are pushed towards the ceiling, the thighs are rotated inwards, but the shoulders, the neck and the head are nice and relaxed. If you need to, you can spread the fingers wide to spread the load a bit more on the hands. And we're going to take the right leg up and back to the ceiling again, and we're going to bring it through so that the foot is behind the left hand, the knee is behind the right hand. We're going to take a block and we're going to place it underneath the hips just to support us in pigeon. So the back leg is out nice and long behind us and flat. Push up for an upright position. Take a deep breath here. And then we're just going to walk it forwards, come down onto the elbows, just really stretching over that front leg. Again, at this point, if you need to, you can always use another block for resting the elbows on. If you have the flexibility, you can drop right down to the floor. Again, using that block for underneath the head if needed. If not, just taking the head right down to the floor and just allowing the arms to be out in front and nice and relaxed. Take a deep breath here. Bring yourself back up onto the elbows. We'll progress back up slowly here. Coming back up to upright. And we're going to go into a quad stretch. So just hold on to the foot if need be. If you have the flexibility for something like mermaid, allow the hips to rock towards the right, still sitting on the block. You can do as I have and use a strap to get yourself in position. If not, wrap the arm around the foot and try to clasp both hands together and really pulling that foot towards you to really stretch the hips and the quads. So we're not going to release this completely, we're just going to rearrange the seated position, so we're back into that frontward pigeon position, but then we're going to pull that foot towards us, still on the block, hips straight now, for king pigeon. Again, only do what is comfortable for you. I need to use a strap at this point, but you might be able to get hold of the toes. Release to the floor, remove the block, come up on the toes at the back, step back for plank, down for chaturanga, up for up dog, and when you're ready, push up and back for downward facing dog. We'll take 3 long deep breaths. So just remembering to keep the shoulders and the neck nice and relaxed here. We're going to repeat everything on the other side. So when you're ready, we're going to take the left foot up and back towards the ceiling. We're then going to bring it behind the hands, so foot behind the right hand, knee behind the left hand, and again placing that block underneath the hips and pressing upright into pigeon. Again, back leg out nice and long and flat on the mat, and get yourself into a comfortable position and take a deep breath here. When you're ready, we're going to walk it down onto the elbows, remembering that you can go down onto a block if you want to or need to. And taking some deep breaths here. Again, if you have the flexibility at this point, feel free to take the head right to the mat and the hands out straight, or taking the head to a block, whatever is easiest for you, and just allow the arms to relax out straight. Taking a deep breath here. And then walking the elbows back in, so we're coming up gradually and gently again. When you're ready, pushing yourself up to an upright position, and we'll go back into that quad stretch. So again, just getting hold of the foot if that's all you're able to do, or you can bring in the strap and you can shift the weight on your hips over to the left this time, taking the left hand behind your head, right arm round the foot, and again, if you can, clasp the hands together. If not, just hold on to wherever you're able to. And we'll hold mermaid pose. And then going back into a hip forward facing position. Bring both hands over the top of the head, taking hold of either the foot or the yoga strap and just pulling that foot towards your head for king pigeon pose. Taking a nice deep breath here. And then we're going to release the foot to the floor. Take the block out from underneath. Hands to the mat. Toes under at the back, stepping back for plank, chaturanga, up dog, and then pushing the hips up and back for down dog. If at any point during that sequence you become too tired, you can always drop it to going straight to the floor and then pushing up for a small cobra before going to down dog. It's a little bit less taxing on the arms that way. But just relaxing here now in down dog. So to come to seated, we're going to try and jump through the arms. So I want you to make sure that your hands are nice and wide on the mat. You're going to come up onto the toes, bend the knees deeply, look forwards, and jumping through with bent legs. And we're just going to come to a seated position, hands pressed into the sides, feet flexed. As you breathe in, take your hands up to the ceiling and then fold over as you breathe out, taking the hands to the feet. I'm just going to stretch here and take a few deep breaths. And gently push yourself back up to seated. Bend the knees. Bring the hands straight along the legs. Find your balance point and come up to boat pose. Take a deep breath here. If you're able to, feel free to take this to full boat or stay in half boat. Drop back down to half boat and then slowly release to the floor. Take the arms out wide, bend both knees, bring them right up, and then just twist over to the left and looking over the right hand to stretch the spine. Take 3 deep breaths here. Taking the knees back up to the middle and then rolling them over to the right and looking over the left hand. Taking 3 long deep breaths here. We're then going to bring the knees back into the centre and bring the knees in, wrap the arms around for a squeeze, and you can have a bit of a rock if you need to. We're going to release the right leg to the floor, taking the left arm wide, and then we'll take the left leg across the body, looking over the left arm for a supine twist, taking 3 long deep breaths here. Releasing that left leg, bring it back to center. Swap legs and arms, taking the right arm wide, the right leg across the body now, looking over that right hand for 3 long deep breaths on the other side. Release the leg, come back to center, bring both the knees in for another squeeze. We're then going to take hold of the outside of the feet for happy baby. We're just stretching everything. And we'll do one final hip stretch at the end of this by taking the feet together, holding the toes and just pulling those feet towards you, letting the knees go wide. We'll take a couple of deep breaths here. Bring the knees in for one final squeeze. Let the legs go long to the edge of the mat. Hands by the sides, palms facing up. Close the eyes and we'll go into Savasana. So we want to take nice, long, deep breaths here. On your next in-breath, take your attention to your toes, your feet and your legs. And as you breathe out, let all the tension melt away. On your next in-breath, take your attention to your hips, your stomach and your back. And as you breathe out, let all the tension leave the body. On your next in-breath, take your attention to your chest and your shoulders. And as you breathe out, let the tension leave the body. On your next in-breath, take your attention to your fingers, your hands and your arms. And as you breathe out, let all the tension melt away. On your next in-breath, take your attention to your neck, your head and your face. And as you breathe out, let the last of the tension leave the body. We'll take a few more deep breaths here, just allowing ourselves to take in our practice. And when you're ready, start wiggling your toes and your fingers, bringing yourself back. Move your feet together. Take the arms up over the top of the head for a full body stretch from fingers to toes. And then when you're ready, just roll onto one side, using your arm as a pillow. We'll take a couple of long deep breaths here. Start pressing yourself up to seated. Taking the hands into prayer at heart center. We'll take 3 breaths here. And that's it, we're all done. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope that you find it helpful and that it helps to keep you warm over the few cold months. Please like, share, comment on my videos. It all helps to build awareness, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And I look forward to seeing you again soon. Namaste.